Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time, and I have been knitting. Today's video is episode 13 of my weekly podcast series where I come on here and talk to you about my knitting shenanigans over the course of the previous week. So, I have my notes in my knitting journal. Look at this new sticker on my knitting journal, by the way. I don't remember if I've shown you this yet or not, but it's a Rachel is knitting sticker. So it's officially my knitting journal and nobody else's. All right, let's get started. So this podcast episode covers my knitting and general existence from May 13th through May 19th of 2024. Okay, so let's start with the first section of the podcast, which is always project updates. All right, hi, welcome to the project updates section of the podcast. The first project that I want to update you on is my Kal Cardigan. This project is designed by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted, and I'm working mine up in Malabrigo Rios in the colorway Pisces. As far as I know, this is a limited edition colorway, so I'm so glad that I have enough to make a cozy cardigan that I'm sure I'll wear so much always once it's done. But it is really giving me a run for my money in the process of getting it from skein form to finished object form. So a lot has happened since last week. Basically, in last week's episode, I said I had all of the panels completed, the two front panels and the back panel, and I draped it over my shoulders just like this, and I said, you know, I'm not sure if it's big enough. I don't know. I want to block it and see. And a couple of you commented and said it was absolutely too small. So whether that is true or not, we'll never know because I frogged those panels and I went back to the yoke. If you've ever frogged or tanked back in brioche, you know that it is basically what nightmares are made of. So basically, here's the story. After getting, I don't know, after reading your comments, I was just scared. I was just scared that it was too small. So I didn't block it to see. I just moved forward and frogged it. And I frogged basically back to the yoke. But I wasn't sure if I was on the right row across the entire project because I was ripping back a project that had been alternating skeins plus a project with some brioche detailing. If you're not familiar with this pattern, the button band on either side is brioche, as is, where is it? The shoulder seam. So if you're looking for a pattern to get started with brioche where it's not full on brioche, not full on scary, just a little bit scary to learn this new technique, the Kal Cardigan might be a great option for you. But all this to say, I frogged back the panels and I just wasn't sure if I had my needles on the correct row all across the yoke. So I set it aside. This was like early on over the course of the last week. Early on I did this, probably on Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, I don't know, early on. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if my needles are where they need to be. So this is a problem for future Rach. That's what I call like this amorphous idea of what I may accomplish myself to be in the future. Like future Rach, I've never met her, but I know that she is faster, stronger, smarter, wiser, funnier, prettier, more energetic, kinder. I know she's just better. She's better than me in my current form. So I said to myself, you know, future Rach can handle this. I'm learning that maybe I need to be kinder to future Rach and not defer so many things to her. Like maybe current Rach can do some things. Don't call me Rach, by the way. I don't really like being called Rach unless it's by my husband or talking to myself as like picturing a nebulous future version of myself. Whatever. Anyway, future Rach could handle it. Current Rach couldn't. All right, there you go. So, yeah. So last night I had some heartbreak, maybe, with my Iza cardigan, which I'll tell you about shortly. So then I figured, you know, it's time to revisit my Kal cardigan. So last night, the evening of Sunday, May 19th, I picked this back up. I got everything on the right row. So turns out I was correct in that I didn't have all the stitches from the same row on my needles. It was kind of cattywampus. So I made sure that all the stitches on my needles were the stitches that should be and not some like additional row on this tiny section. It was a mess, okay? But I fixed it. And then I kept working the yoke. I added quite a bit of increases, 2 sizes worth of increases, in fact. So this now has, I believe, 50 more stitches than it did previously when I moved forward with the panels. So basically, I added enough stitches so that I was no longer at the size 4 stitch count for the pattern. I'm now at the size 6 stitch count of the pattern. This in the pattern is written to have a finished bust circumference of 60 inches, but I hope that in reality, the finished bust circumference will be 56 inches. Listen, I have no confidence in my ability to think critically anymore, nor do I have confidence in my ability to count, to read, or to have, I don't know, accurate perceptions of my knitting. My expectations are on the floor. So we'll see. We'll see if this ends up being the fit I want or not after I make the panels. So I'm going to knit the 2 front panels and the back panel, and then I'm going to join them and continue knitting the body, and I'll see if that's the fit I want. Of course, I will try it on as I go, but basically I'm fully committed to this being a true slow fashion piece. I am not afraid to frog. I am not afraid to have my feelings hurt because I've already done it to myself so many times already in the few weeks I've been working on this pattern. Also, I want to say these issues are in no way reflective of the pattern itself. They are reflective of me and whatever is going on in my brain that is like not working with reality. So anyway, all that to say, here's my progress on my Kal cardigan. It remains to be a mess, but I'm hoping that I'm cleaning it up so I can wear this cardigan. I really want to wear this shortly. Like I'm doing some traveling this summer and I want to take this with me. So fingers crossed, butts clenched. Let's see if we can get it where it needs to be. So there's the progress on my Kal cardigan. I am alternating skeins. I'm using Miss Ivy Pole to hold my 2 Lemonwood yarn minders to help me in yarn management as I alternate skeins. I highly recommend this setup if you can handle, I don't know, thinking outside the bun a little bit and buying an Ivy pole for your yarn. All right, so there's the update on my Kal cardigan. Now let's move on to the next heartbreaker, which is my Iza cardigan. Unexpectedly, my Iza cardigan by Vert and Roses, that's her Instagram handle. I think her name is Alexandra. I'll put it on the screen, what her name is. I really need to memorize this, but I have her Instagram handle memorized, Vert and Roses. Anyway, my Iza cardigan unexpectedly became my most focused on project over the course of the last week. I didn't plan for this, but last week I showed you my progress. I think last week I had a skein's worth of things knit up, maybe a little bit more, but I've been working on it for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But this last week, once I frogged the panels of the Kal cardigan, it was all Iza cardigan all the time. I was living, eating, breathing my Iza cardigan. I just couldn't put it down. I still had some of the issues I've mentioned to you before, like some issues memorizing which button band is which and mixing them up sometimes. So there are definitely some errors in my knitting of the button band. But since last week, I have totally finished the body. Dun, 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 dun. Guess what? I think it's too small. So let me try this on for you. And okay, before I try this on, I just want to like make sure we're on the same page. I so appreciate your comments about the fit when I'm asking for them on YouTube videos. But I just want us to be mindful about how we talk about other people's bodies. And I'm kind of like, I'll just tell you up front, I'm kind of insecure about how this sweater fits on me. Like, it's much smaller than I planned for. And, you know, everyone has their own feelings about their own bodies and like what's too big, what's too small, or what feels that way. And I'm just telling you up front, like, I feel a little soft and sensitive about this. So if you do choose to comment about the fit on my body, just keep that in mind. I mean, I'm not saying you have to lie to me, but, you know, just be nice, I guess, is what I'm saying. Okay, so here's the fit of the Iza Cardigan. And, like, it's unblocked. I mean, this little portion is blocked because I did knit a skein's worth for my swatch. But this is the fit. I thought that I would have 5 inches of positive ease, and maybe I will when I block this, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. This is lace. My friend Rachel on Instagram rightly pointed out that lace does block out quite a bit, but I don't know. It is cropped. I think that's fine. That's a fine cropped length. It will look good over dresses, but I think that it would be better if it were like a little bit more positive ease, like that would pair with the crop a bit more, whereas having it be 0 or maybe negative ease with the crop is just not my preference. So I don't know if I'll be able to button this without bunching, which I hate the look of on myself. But here's the progress on the Iza Cardigan. Some notes about this pattern, and I'll do an FO diary whenever this pattern becomes an FO in my wardrobe, whether that is this iteration or I have to re-knit the whole thing. I'm committed to having this in my wardrobe. I really love the yarn. This is Treehouse Knits Cashmere Elm DK. If you're looking for a cashmere blend base, this is amazing. It's so, so soft. And I know that this will be like a constantly worn item in my wardrobe if I can just get it to that stage of being in my wardrobe. But yeah, I really love the color. I love the yarn. I'm just kind of disappointed in myself with the fit. And like I talked about in last week's episode, bottom up is really tricky because once you cast on, that's the size you're making. And there's not the opportunity to adjust like there is with what I'm doing in the Kal Cardigan to add circumference to the finished whatever. Anyway, another thing that's happening with my Iza Cardigan is I'm just not quite sure how I feel about the armholes. It feels better than it did yesterday when I tried it on, but I'm wondering if maybe the armholes are a bit too shallow. I don't think they look bad. It's just a matter of how they feel for me. Like, it's just, I need to figure out if they feel okay or not. So I might not know that until I put sleeves on, which is obnoxious. So obnoxious. Yeah, so basically if I were to move forward with this iteration of my knitting the Iza Cardigan, the only things that I have left to do are knit the neckband, pick up and knit the neckband, and pick up and knit the sleeves, and then of course weave in the ends, block, sew on the buttons, etc. So my plan for this is I'm going to wet block this after I film this podcast, and then once it's dry, I'll try it on and I will make my decision then. I'm cautiously optimistic, but honestly, I'm not confident. And maybe after I block it, I'll decide this is fine as an open cardigan. Like, I'm happy with this as an open cardigan. But then I wish I hadn't taken the time to put the buttonholes in the button band. Another thing is I want to use, or I think I'm going to use, my purple souvenir buttons from This Is Knit. Let me show them to you. So I have 6 of these buttons left, and they're not a perfect match of the tone of purple, but I think it's so hard to show buttons. There it is on my, see, if I hold it up, my fingers are in the way, but it's a good match for the purple, and I think that it would be really nice as the button on here because it wouldn't distract from the lace and it would just kind of blend in to the garment. Now, if I'm going to wear this as an open cardigan, I don't want to waste the rest of my souvenir buttons on it if they're not even going to be used, but maybe it will be worth it just for the final look. I don't know, I'm kind of torn, but that's not anything that I need to decide now because I don't even know if this will remain knit up. I may frog this and re-knit it. This is like wild because if you told me in a past scenario that I am now potentially regularly basically knitting full sweaters and then frogging them because they're not how I want them, I would think you were nuts. I would think something was wrong with you, but that's just the reality I'm living in right now. I'm really, I don't know, seeing the value of doing it correctly, or not correctly is not the right word, but doing it in a way where I know that this is something I'm going to wear. If I just rush to finish this, like put the neckline on, put the sleeves on, have a finished sweater, and then I never wear it, like what's the point? What's the point? To get like that serotonin boost of having a finished object and then it ends there? Like I'm like there's a time and a place for that, but for me, I really want to invest my time into making items that are well loved, well worn, well taken care of. And the first step to making that happen is to making sure they're well made for my body and for what I want in the fit. So there's the update on my Iza cardigan. And I don't know why I just took that off like that. That was kind of awkward. I don't know. Maybe that's a normal way to take a sweater thing off, but you know, when you're in front of a camera, your brain is going 100 miles a minute, second guessing every choice you make and whether or not it was weird. Sorry. Okay, so this will be blocked shortly, and hopefully next week I will have an exciting update for you, whether it is, yeah, I need to frog it, or no, it works and I'm gonna keep moving. So I'll let you know next week. Wait with bated breath until that point. All right, let's move on to the next project update, and that is on my emotional support chicken. Well, it's not really mine. It's for my niece. My niece, who is coming very shortly out of my sister's body, has a chicken ready for her. Okay, great, awesome. So this is a purple chicken. Like I've mentioned before, I want to send some subliminal messages that purple is the best color. My niece, of course, can grow up to love whatever color she wants, but I want to give purple a fighting chance, and I have lots of purple, so why not make her a purple chicken? This is knit up in 2 colorways left over that I had from my Lume with Long Dog yarn, and it worked out really, really great. Last week, I just had the body done. I didn't have this underpiece or any of it seamed, of course, so now enjoy looking at the finished chicken. Now, another disclaimer, I know some of you are sick of this chicken. Listen, we're not going to yuck people's yum. It's okay to be sick of something, but it's not okay to make fun of people who aren't sick of it. Okay? And I stand by that. Okay, so here's the emotional support chicken done and dusted. And then not only do I have a purple emotional support chicken for my niece, I also made my niece a purple rat. Okay, so I made this in one day on Tuesday of this last week, and I also filmed the process to have the second installment of my How Much Does Handmade Really Cost video. So that's gonna go up in a week or so, something like that. Or it might be going up this week. I don't know. Keep your eyes peeled. But anyway, I have two matching animals for my niece. A chicken because my sister and her husband keep chickens, and then a rat because, you know, it's part of our family lore now, for better or worse. So she'll have two little purple friends. This will, I think, be for when she's older. So my sister will put this somewhere she can't get hurt with it, and then the chicken and the rat can be friends. Yay. So 2 little project updates there. And then the last project update I have for you is, well, I guess 2. I do have a little bit of 2 because when I was watching Bridgerton season 3, the first 4 episodes of season 3 came out, and momentarily I was like, I should be working on my Bridgerton project, my Colette. And I pulled this out to work on while watching Bridgerton. Ugh, it's so pretty. This is I Burn For You on Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co.'s Romantasy sock base held with her magical mohair base. It's so beautiful. It's this beautiful, light, delicate pastel purple fabric that it's making. You can actually get this right now. The 3rd round of Bridgerton pre-orders is open, and it should stay open until May 24th unless Selena hits capacity. But anyway, I was like, I should work on my Bridgerton project with my Bridgerton yarn while I am watching Bridgerton. Well, I pulled that out. I started to like get situated, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm captivated by my Iza cardigan. So I at least got it out, looked at it. I posted about it on Instagram, and then I went to knit, and I was just like, I want to be knitting on my Iza cardigan. That's what I truly want right now. So I almost made progress on my Colette, but ultimately I didn't knit a single stitch. Okay, so then now my real official final project update is my purse project. I cast this on. Initially, I cast on the Simple Thing by Melina Brell, which I've talked about the last few episodes as a great free dupe for the Sophie Shawl or Sophie Scarf pattern. I started it, and I quickly realized I just didn't like this yarn with that pattern. Like, it I don't know, it just wasn't clicking in my brain. So instead, I decided to cast on the Riptide 135 by JST Knitwear Designs. And I cast this on for my purse project. I didn't get through the increases though yet, so it's not officially my purse project because I want to get it to the part where it's just straight knitting, no increases, because I can do that without looking at a pattern, whereas I can't do the increase section without looking at a pattern. So this is almost ready to embark into my purse and be my purse project, but for now it's just getting started. This is the Alpaca Sport Base from Treehouse Knits, and the colorway is First Frost. So it's this really soft, it's like a frosty light blue, frosty purple, like frosty silver. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's very pretty, and I think it will be a great accessory. And I'm keeping it in my Rachel is Knitting project bag. So there's the update on my purse project. So there's been quite a bit of knitting this week. Nothing really, I don't know, buttoned up except for my niece's zoo. But the other projects like my Iza cardigan, my Kal cardigan, we're not giving up. We're just at a checkpoint where we need to take stock and assess the situation. All right, so that does it for project updates. Let's move to the next section of the podcast, which is spinning. And boy, oh boy, do I have an update for you. So let me unclamp Elliott stapler from my desk. And as I'm doing so, I'll tell you that I only spun on Elliott one day last week. No, I don't know. Couple days, one day, something like that. But I spun on Elliott stapler, and this is how full my bobbin has become. As you can see, it's looking really, really good. I love this thing. I love my progress. And in fact, let me show you. I was rifling through my little Longaberger basket that I keep Elia in, and I found this bobbin, this old bobbin from the early days of the 100 Days of Spinning Challenge. Check those out side by side. The difference is immense. This bobbin is Merino from a drop spindle kit on Amazon. My mother-in-law got me for Christmas. And then this bobbin that's still attached to the spinner is Corriedale. So, like, so much can happen in just a few weeks. I'm so proud of myself. But Elia is not the moment of this spinning section. The true moment of this spinning section is Spinelli. This is my spinning wheel, Spinelli. She is an Eco Fantasia spinning wheel from Kromski, which is a spinning wheel company based out of Poland, and I'm partnering with them. I've told you this, but I'll tell you again, I'm partnering with them to bring you some amazing spinning content as I learn to spin on a traditional spinning wheel as opposed to the e-spinner that I started on. So I have since had 3 days of spinning, or 3 spinning sessions. Well, yesterday I had a couple different spinning sessions because I couldn't stay away. But basically 3 days where I've spun on Spinelli. And let me tell you, it's a whole different world than spinning on an e-spinner. In the 3 days I've been spinning on Spinelli, which, yes, this is a recess reference for the fellow 90s kids watching. When I started spinning on Spinelli, treadling was very confusing, to say nothing of drafting while treadling. It was a whole different ballgame. But I feel like I've improved immensely. Yesterday when I sat down to spin, like, for whatever reason, something had just clicked and I was treadling great, I was drafting great, it was all going great. I didn't have really any issues. So I'm confident that I'll continue building that momentum and continue improving, and it's just so much fun. So I'm really, really grateful to Kromski for partnering with me and trusting me to show you all about my experience on the Eco Fantasia. It's been a fabulous experience so far, and I'm looking forward to it continuing to be that way. Yeah, so we're halfway through the 100 Days of Spinning Challenge today, actually. Today is day 50. Today is May 20th. Day 50 of the 100-day challenge. So that's really exciting. Really cool to think about the difference from my first day of spinning to now, and how I have a whole spinning wheel to add into the mix. Like, who knew this was going to happen back on day 1 of the spinning challenge? Not me. So really happy with my spinning progress. Which leads me into talking about my acquisitions. So let's talk about the acquisition section of the podcast. There's a lot to go over, and most of it is Kromski related. So when I first reached out to Kromski, I pitched a collaboration with the Eco Fantasia spinning wheel. They upped the ante. They sent me a lot of things. So it's a mess behind me because I've just been kind of tunnel visioning on spinning, but I'll show you what they sent me because it's a lot, and I haven't put it away yet because I've just been too excited and playing with the spinning wheel to do that. But the first thing that I'll show you is they sent me this little tub of Polish candy, and most of it I've eaten, and my husband DJ shared with me too. But like these like little caramels they sent me, so good. They sent me this bar of chocolate. It's so good. And then also, of course, there's wrappers in here. These candies called Boom Laws. They're like fruit chews, kind of like Mambas is the only thing I can think to compare them to. But they're shaped like lozenges, like cough drops. Oh, they're so good. And then they also sent me these Jamajaka. I'm not sure how you say it. These Polish candies. These are like fruit nougats kind of with chocolate coating. These were different than anything I've ever had. And when I first tried it, it was not my favorite, but I still have 2 of these that I'm going to try again and see that now if I know what I'm expecting, if they'll be my cup of tea. We'll see. So they sent me a tub of Polish candy. How sweet is that? Ha, sweet. Literally sweet. And then they also sent me just so many treasures. So let me just show you one by one. I have my Corriedale draped over it because, like I said, it's a mess down here because I'm sorry, I've been too excited to be a responsible person who cleans up after themselves. Okay, get over it. Okay, so let me show you. First thing, a purple nitty naughty. Amazing. A purple drop spindle, a jumbo flyer for the Fantasia spinning wheel. So as I understand it, this means I can spin thicker yarn, bulkier yarn. I don't really know, but I'm excited to find out. 2 carding brushes. So you know what that means? Darby. Do you know what that means, Darby? Your hair is going to become yarn. It absolutely is. Get ready. Some fiber, a miniature purple nitty naughty, jumbo bobbins, colorful bobbins, even more fiber. Okay, so as you can see, that is a jam-packed shipment. Kromski sent me so many things. They spoiled me, and I'm so excited to play around with all of these items. So far, I've really only experimented with the spinning wheel, but I'm excited to expand into the other goodies that they sent me, particularly using the purple bobbin and the purple nitty naughty and the purple drop spindle. Yes, I'm very excited. So thank you so much, Kromski. I won't let you down. Now, aside from all of the spinning items, I also have some yarn to show you. I have a sweater quantity of long dog yarn. Let me get a skein out so you can see it up close. So this is Over the Sky to Sea, which is a colorway from Brandy's Outlander collection. I got this as part of a larger order, and I'm not going to tell you what the other component of the order is. You're just going to have to wait a little while. But I got a sweater quantity of Over the Sky to Sea. It's a beautiful periwinkle variegated color with teal and purple and orange gold speckles. And I have 8 skeins of this on her Merino DK base, which is 246 yards per 100 grams. So I'm not really sure what I should make with this. I'm thinking either a cardigan or a pullover, definitely a garment of some kind since I have 8 skeins. What do you think for this? What are your pattern recommendations? If you have a go-to DK weight cardigan or pullover, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking a field day. I don't know, I already have one other field day planned. Will I get sick of the field day? I don't know. But what do you think? What is screaming to you to be the perfect match for this really beautiful, beautiful yarn? I would love your recommendations. But yeah, that is the second of 2 acquisitions that I have between the Kromski and the yarn. Yeah, so I've really been spoiled this week between the Kromski shipment and the Long Dog Yarn shipment. I've just been having a great time. So yeah, that's all I have for acquisitions. Basically, to sum up this week's podcast episode, I would tell you that I am hitting obstacle after obstacle with my knitting, but I am not giving up. I am still fighting. Yeah. So there's your update. I also want to update you on the fact that I've been filming YouTubes and getting them edited and scheduled and uploaded. I'm trying to upload videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Tuesdays being the podcast day, and then Thursday and Saturday being whatever I have on deck. So it may take a couple weeks for you to see a video that corresponds with something I'm mentioning on the podcast or I mention on Instagram, but rest assured it is coming and it is in the queue. So hope that helps clear up any confusion you may have over where in the world the videos I say I'm filming are. They're coming. They're just not. I don't want to upload every day because that's just not sustainable for me. And yeah, that's the story. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. I really appreciate you watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my next upload. Last but not least, head over to Instagram and follow me at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.